This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Widmer here, along with the one, the only, fellow man-child, Johnny Karlic. Yeah, I added a little bit there because for a second I forgot which podcast I was on.
I
almost said
the
one, the only, Brandon Swanson, but he's not here. I will be with him tomorrow. You are the fellow man-child.
I don't see Brandon here.
Are Johnny Karlic, and we are here for the Rick and Johnny podcast, your podcast here on MVP, where we look at everything under the two nerdy suns. And it's a full Captain Marvel show today.
Full.
We're sticking fully in the Marvel world with Captain Marvel and obviously Marvel Entertainment. Going to be looking at some great topics. Before I get into that, a little bit of housekeeping here at the beginning. If you want to help support us here at MVP, make sure to check out patreon.com/most valuable podcast. You can also go ahead and buy yourself an MVP shirt. That store link is down below in the description, or you can get it at mostvaluablepodcast.com, where you can get your MVP each and every day. And then last but not least, make sure to go over to iTunes, Apple Podcasts. Even if you're on YouTube right now, go over to iTunes, Apple Podcasts. If you could please give us a 5-star rating. It would mean the world to us. And then let us know why you like listening to the podcast each and every week. But Johnny, like I said, it is a full Captain Marvel show. We're going to be looking at some Secret Invasion. We're going to be looking at Nick Fury possibly losing an eye. Not possibly.
We're going to change that.
He is going to lose an eye. I think I covered the wrong eye. I think it's this eye that he loses. And then we're finally going to look at Jude Law's character. And we have originally said he's playing Mar-Vell, but is there a possibility that he could not be playing Mar-Vell in Captain Marvel?
It's Mar-Vell.
Mar-Vell, and we are going to start with kind of some Secret Invasion. And the reason why we're doing this is not only are there articles afoot because of the Entertainment Weekly kind of spots in their magazine where we got the first look at some of the, we got to look at Captain Marvel with the Kree force that she is going to be with. We got to look at the Skrulls as they are coming out of what looks like a sandy beach out of the water. There's another image where we get to look at Ronan, of what he's going to be like in this movie before he goes off the deep end and then turns into the Ronan that we had in Guardians of the Galaxy. And one of the things that it's all looking like it's going to set up is Secret Invasion. Because we know for a fact, and we're going to talk about him more so in the Nick Fury one, but Ben Mendelsohn's character, he's actually going to be playing the leader of the Skrulls. And the thing I kind of want to ask you with this, and we're kind of going to jump the gun first with this first segment, is Captain Marvel is going to set up a Secret Invasion. The Skrulls are coming in. They're invading Earth. They're turning into, all right, we're going to blend in with the humans, with the Earthlings on Earth. I want to jump the gun completely, and is this going to be something that we see post Avengers 4? Is this something that they're going to touch in Phase 4, that after Thanos is done, woo, the baddie is dead. Oh, wait. The baddies are not dead.
New one.
Because we have been invaded, and now we have to figure out who is good and who is evil.
I feel like that's something, that's going to be touched more so in Phase 4 with the Secret Wars part. It's going to be the main, antagonistic part of Captain Marvel. That way, what else are you going to have? It's going to be obviously an introductory story of starting with Captain Marvel or Carol Danvers.
Well, the thing they've already said about it, too, that's interesting, it's not going to be a traditional Phase 1 origin story.
Well, I didn't say that.
I know. I'm clarifying that for anyone who doesn't know, Marvel has said, Kevin Feige has said, when we start the movie, she will already be with Mar-Vell's forces and with the Kree kind of super team that she's already on, wearing the green suit when the movie starts.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be somewhat of, it's probably flashbacks or something with the little not videos, but little snippets of video and little bit of pictures we got.
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be some snippets of the flashback of what happens to her, because flying the plane, she used to be an Air Force pilot, and then Carol Danvers into
Captain Marvel.
Thank you. I forgot the name for a second of the topic all for this week.
The name of the movie too.
Name of the movie.
Captain Marvel.
Are you sure?
I think it is. I'm pretty sure.
I think she starts off as Miss Marvel.
Maybe.
Technically.
Oh, what suit are we gonna get? Not just red, white, and blue. Are we gonna get the the black
red, white, and blue? What are you?
The red and blue suit.
Red, blue, and
Captain America.
Gold.
But are we gonna get the black suit? The black suit with the yellow
that would
S
be
on it?
cool.
Because there's that suit too for Captain
There
Marvel
is.
that everyone is forgetting about.
That'd be cool, unless that'd be great. At least a reference of, we're gonna give you your new suit, and it's this is the first one. No,
It's like a skimpy black.
the
suit.
skinny
It's
black.
No, I am not wearing that.
One of those. Yeah, almost like
I'll just keep this suit that I've been wearing.
almost like a Deadpool of please don't make it green and animated.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that. That would be great.
Right, just hey, why, you need a new look. Why don't you do this? No.
But we can add a sash to it.
No.
Even that, because a lot of people are like, well, will she have the red sash? Is she going to have her sash? Who cares? The suit looks awesome.
It does.
That's all
Especially when it
I'm
switches
about.
back to the gold, red, and white.
Yeah.
Or gold, red, and blue.
And she will be in that
your red, white, and
maybe
blue.
by the end of the movie.
I hope so.
She'll definitely be in it for Avengers 4.
Yeah.
But the thing that I'm thinking about with Secret, because this is whole Secret Invasion.
Yes.
Of the Skrulls. And the thing that I'm wondering is, we know in Captain Marvel, what's probably going to happen is she is beginning of the movie, she is with the Kree super team. That's basically what I'm calling them, the Kree
It is,
super
you're
team.
right. It's just a funny way of putting it.
That she is with, and that's where she's in just the general, bland green Kree military outfit. And then she's going to have to come back to Earth because shit is going to hit the fan here.
It kind of already did.
The thing that I basically kind of feel like is going to happen, because this is set back in the 90s, is at the end of the movie, it's going to be great, we have defeated the true threat. But then it'll be have we defeated the true threat? Basically, it's going to be, there's one Skrull or a few Skrull that got away, and now they're just blended in to the human society, and nobody knows that they are here. The thing that I wonder, I don't know if they would do this, but it would be bold if they made somebody from the Avengers in Phase 4, we find out that they've been a Skrull all along.
It would be
And
interesting.
The Avengers have been infiltrated by the Skrull, because the whole thing you got to think of
They take political powers. They take any higher power. So if someone did become a Skrull, that would be interesting.
And the thing you have to think about also, and I know that this wasn't James Gunn was going to take over for Kevin Feige. That's not true. But you got to think about, originally, a lot of Phase 4 we were focusing on was the cosmic side of things.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
We were going to say not we were going to say, with James Gunn, he's going to look into that. Kind of like with Avengers, it's, hey, we're bringing him in to make sure these Guardian scenes kind of fit what we've already seen with the cosmic side. Well, he's done. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we've talked about that quite a bit, where James Gunn
just a tad.
is gone.
Just a tad.
And I wonder if this might be a shift of, because the whole thing is, and we touched about it last week with the James Gunn firing, but more so because Guardians got delayed. I wonder if this will be the main focus after Avengers 4, because the true thing we got to decide, and we're not going to be able to decide until Kevin Feige lets us know after Avengers 4, what's next after Thanos is defeated. Are they going to do a Galactus thing? Is it going to be a big baddie from the cosmic sphere? Or is it just going to be, you know what? Maybe we go into Secret Invasion, Secret War, bring in the X-Men on top of that, and that's the main theme for Phase 4 and beyond.
I like that one because, you can do a double, make, how do I put this? Make, sort of a lead up to the big baddie, make him part of the way through, and then, what really was going on was the Secret Wars. Mm-hmm. Because this is more of a newly introduced thing, thanks to Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
The Secret Wars will be a more newly introduced theme to everything, but I feel like still there's got to be what else are we gonna have? We're just gonna have Secret Wars. I mean, I guess that would work too. Small protagonists, we have always done, all the movies have been, and then throw in Secret Wars as like the biggest thing that's going on. I guess that would work too, because you and I had a podcast before talking about what's up with Phase 4, what's going to happen with the new way they want to go with the cosmic universe. I guess that would be, we didn't talk, I don't think we brought that one up of being Secret Invasion.
No.
And it would be, or Secret Wars, either way. But that would be another way to go about it, because you and I talked about what Galactus,
Kang the Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror.
That was one that you really
wanted to bring up. Yeah.
Can we still bring him in if they do more of a Secret Invasion thing?
I mean, we can kind of like duality it eventually. I wouldn't, unless like you make that the one of the like another Avengers movie style, because that's what Kang is usually their villain. Yeah. Unless you somehow bring in the Avengers again, or New Phase Avengers or something like that, and have them fight Kang, and then have like Secret Wars still going on in the background as the bigger thing going on. Yeah. You could make another like Avengers 5 movie, Avengers whatever they want to go about.
They are. Let's be honest.
They probably are.
They're gonna make an Avengers 5.
Yeah. It may not be the whole lineup that we have right now.
Oh, it's probably gonna be a new lineup.
Probably would be like the one that. The newer lineup, at least that I know of, is the female Thor, Miss Marvel. I believe Captain Marvel is part of that one too. Carol Danvers. I can't remember. Technically, Tony Stark is supposed to be part of that, at least of what I've read right now. Vision. Trying to remember who else. There's like, well, anyways, there's like 3 other people, but that's the newer lineup, at least part of it. Go ahead and read it if you want to find out about it. But yeah, maybe they'll start like doing that lineup, and obviously not that specifically. They may, because Riri Williams has replaced Iron Man in one of the series. Thor's been replaced in one of the series. Captain America's been replaced by Falcon in one of the series. So et cetera, et cetera. We can. The MCU's not going specifically off that, so they can switch whoever up with whoever else they want.
And I'm kind of looking here. I'm looking into a lot of like Secret War from the comics. Yeah. And the thing that's interesting is a lot of it has like, oh, well, after Civil War. All right, we've already touched that in the MCU. All right, after Secret War. Well, we haven't touched that in the MCU. And like they're referencing House of M, where we did talk about that. Like, we did. Could we get a House of M movie? The thing I find interesting is right here. It says, after the Civil War, the Skrulls intended on implanting a Skrull in every 50-state superhero team. It is unknown if that had actually occurred or how far they got with their insurgents. And I wonder if that, and I don't know, thank God I'm not the head of Mar-Vell, because I wouldn't know how to do this if I was Kevin Feige, but what do you do storyline if you want to make that Phase 4? Basically, the Avengers feel like they are being infiltrated, and they need to figure out if they're going to be infiltrated. If it's something where like, oh, you introduce the X-Men, and maybe this is kind of a secret where you can kind of tie Secret War into this.
5, like Avengers yes, this is 5, after Phase 4.
Yeah, this is after Avengers 4.
Because you said Avengers 4, I want to make sure we clarify that.
Phase 4 is what I mean.
Phase 4 of like Avengers 5 movie.
Exactly.
Okay. Just to clarify.
It's needed, because sometimes I start talking. Yeah. I need you to backtrack me. Yeah, sometimes.
Anyways, as you were saying.
So Avengers 5, Phase 4, you introduce the X-Men. They get all like the Avengers don't really trust them because, hey, where have you been? Oh, we've been hiding. Well, however you want to do that. But basically, the Avengers then feel like they find somebody in their ranks has been a Skrull that they didn't know about. And then they distrust the X-Men. Maybe you can go towards because that's an interesting thing that I think that would be interesting to see on the silver screen. An Avengers versus X-Men.
That would be cool.
Kind of like, because if you introduce them, there could be tension of like, we don't know you. Where have you been? Should we trust this team? Should we not trust this team? Well, especially like, everything that went on after Thanos.
Like this team that comes out of the woodworks that helped with none of the Thanos stuff per se. I mean, obviously it's because we all know it's because it wasn't owned, but it's like you give another reason like, oh, they were dealing with such and such. What if you made it they were dealing with either Apocalypse, which not as big as Thanos, all gone,
but in space.
And yeah, they're dealing with that in space, or they could be dealing with one of their problems in space.
Yeah, like Galactus.
No, I mean the X-Men.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're really a Galactus fighting team.
Galactus has been in X or like Silver Surfer or something like that.
I'm trying to think of who you could have them, or a majority of them brought off planet for that. Oh, I forgot what it's called, where they're put on that one TV show. And it's the villain I brought up to you before.
Yeah, I know. I can't think of his name.
I can't think of his name either. It's bothering me, but so it could be one of those where they brought off the planet for that. There's other things they've been brought into space before too, or they could have just had their own problem before, like maybe even a sort of House of M style thing going on with them. It's not going to be specifically that, because Scarlet Witch is like, isn't she detrimental to the? You've read House of M more, like
a little bit.
I've read
because the
bits and pieces. You've actually read at least a
little
little
bit.
Of it.
Yeah, the stuff that was.
You need Scarlet Witch for that, don't you?
Yes.
So you wouldn't be able to play that.
House of M is like Magneto stuff.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to play that one exactly, but you can play something. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is you can find some way to say, well, we were busy with our own shit, especially also dealing with mutant v mutant fighting, having to deal with like, what did we always have in the 90s X-Men? Prejudice against mutants.
X-Men. You could also, you could also do? You could, because I'm looking right now, there's CBR.com, basically just one of those lists of, we're going to rank the top 14 or top 16 X-Men space conflicts. And
Mojo, that's the one.
Mojo, but guess what number 1 is? The Dark Phoenix Saga.
There you go.
What's the last movie that Fox is going to put out X-Men wise before they hand it off to Disney?
Gambit?
No, not Gambit. They're going to... The Dark Phoenix Saga.
That was me being a smartass.
That is still being made. I kind of don't know why, because it's like, why put a mediocre taste in our mouth with actors that are probably not going to be used by Disney, because Disney wants to bring in their own people.
They probably do. Unless, I mean, they do really... maybe they're like... I don't know. Probably not.
Disney brings in their own people.
They do,
That's what I think. Why don't you just say that? Oh, we were dealing with the whole Jean Grey Dark Phoenix Saga stuff, and we weren't here.
Yeah,
because it's a huge event for X-Men.
True, that is a huge event. So that would be one that would make sense.
That also involves one of their core members.
True. Of
the team. One question I want to ask you here at the end before we move on to Nick Fury.
Yes.
And I only ask you this because I was watching another video about the Secret Invasion stuff, about Captain Mar-Vell, and I thought of you right away.
Okay.
Do you think we'll get any mention to Odin and Asgard in Captain Mar-Vell? Because the point that was brought up is that in the 90s, Earth or Midgard was still part of the 9 realms, and technically Odin oversaw Midgard, which would be Earth, which would be a part of the 9 realms. Do we see, if it's maybe a reference, or do we see anything of that in Captain Mar-Vell? Not like it's going to be a big piece, but technically Odin is overseeing Earth as a part of the 9 realms.
There might be a reference, but that'd be about it. There's not going to be, I don't feel like there's going to be a whole lot to it. Because, I mean, most of space doesn't even reference it.
Yeah.
I mean, the only people you had were...
Most of space is like, Asgard? What's Asgard?
What the hell's that? I mean, look at the Grandmaster.
Asberg. It's not a place, it's a people.
Asberg, or wherever we have to get back to, the Grandmaster. I mean, obviously it's the Grandmaster. He's not going to care because he's basically an Eternal.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think where else we were, though. But basically... Xandar never mentioned it.
Yeah, the Nova Corps never did.
Nowhere never did. No one ever really mentioned it. Yeah, it's out in space, but no one really mentioned it.
Which is funny the Collector didn't, because Thor brought him the ether.
Well, I don't think he wanted anyone to know he had the ether.
Exactly.
Because he's trying to collect them all himself, but he's doing his little backhanded sneaky way of... he was going to pay, what, 90 million units for... The orb? He's trying to do it in his sneaky way of Like Thor just handed it over.
Yeah, Thor's like, I don't know what this is. Better you have it than I.
Hey, take it for safekeeping.
We can't trust it in the throne room because Loki will give it to somebody.
Well, no.
Oh, wait, we just gave it to the bad guy.
We can't trust in the throne room because we have the Tesseract here already.
Yeah.
Hey, you're a weirdo that we know.
You're a weirdo.
You hold on to shit.
Hey, was it Del Toro?
Yeah.
Hey, Del Toro, you're kind of a creepy motherfucker. Here, take the ether. That's basically what it is.
Basically, it's like, hey, you're a creepy motherfucker that holds on to everything.
Yeah.
Why don't you hold on to this for us?
Hey, is that Howard the Duck? Not important. Let's move on. Any final thoughts?
You let him lick you?
Exactly.
That's disgusting.
Any final thoughts you think we should touch on this before we move into Nick Fury territory?
Not that I can think of. I mean, it's interesting. Like, I want to hear them, and I want to hear more of like how the Skrull are going to play into this, because they're not done after this movie.
Yeah,
for sure. I guarantee you,
it would be. Why would you introduce a thing like the Skrull just to have it be? Oh, it happened in the 90s and it's done.
Yeah, no. This isn't the end of it. I almost can guarantee this is not the end of the Skrull. Because they're going to play another role somewhere down the line. Whether it be like a big one or not, they're going to play something down the line.
Well, this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section. What do you think for this? How will the Secret Invasion carry into and affect Phase 4? Will it be a big part of Phase 4, Avengers 5? Let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section. But Johnny, let's move on. The next Captain Mar-Vell topic or theory that we're looking at is there is a theory about Nick Fury about how he is going to lose his eye, because that's important in Captain Mar-Vell.
A theory about Nick Theory?
Yeah, a theory about, did I say that? Nick Fury?
No, I said, okay. I couldn't get the words out. We have a theory about Nick Fury.
I thought I said a theory about Nick Fury.
It just wouldn't come out of my tongue. I just didn't know you didn't notice the rhyme.
Yeah, so let me set this up for you. So
it does rhyme.
What we've known about Nick Fury for the past is that he's not going to be director of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's going to be like a low-level S.H.I.E.L.D. employee, kind of like a desk jockey, basically, where he's doing desk work. He's kind of out in the field.
Maybe more like an agent?
Exactly. That's
less of a desk jockey?
Probably the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So
maybe.
He's more of an agent than the director. His boss is going to be Ben Mendelsohn's character, who is Talos. However, Talos is a Skrull. So we already know that Ben Mendelsohn, Talos is a Skrull, but undercover, he's going to be the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. at this time. So the theory is that many people believe that in this movie, how Nick Fury will lose it is that Talos will betray Nick Fury. That betrayal will cost Nick Fury his eye, and that will set up why Nick Fury is the way he is and has the trust issues that he has throughout all of these final movies. What do you think about this Nick Fury theory? And do you think he will lose his eye because of his boss in Ben Mendelsohn's character Talos?
That would be one great theory for that, because it's going to be someone...
Johnny's sitting there going, great, you did great detective work, whoever came up with that. You really dug deep for that one.
Sorry, that was a really, really asinine slow clap. No, I mean, that's one... I'm going to paraphrase because I can't remember the exact quote. And this is in Winter Soldier. He basically, something along the lines of, he lost his right eye from someone he trusts. So, I mean, there's only going to be a few people this could be from. It's going to be maybe his boss Talos, right? As we said. There's one of a few others. If he has anything to do with that group that Captain Marvel's in, maybe. Yeah. So maybe not Mar-Vell, Jude Law, right? That's his character. Yeah. Mar-Vell.
Yeah. We'll talk about that though.
We'll talk about that later. I'm
gonna
say Mar-Vell right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think Mar-Vell. He might be too. I'm wondering if it's someone from that group, like near the end of the movie. This is like Captain Mar-Vell, whatever happens with him, I don't think it's gonna be him. What the other one I would go with is maybe Ronin.
Okay.
As he starts to make the switch into the Kree fanatic.
And I'm going to throw this out there. How much interaction do you think that Nick Fury will have with Ronin?
I'm not sure yet.
We haven't seen them interact yet, but that doesn't mean there's going to be no interaction.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm wondering. That's it would be either Talos, now that we know that he's a character in this.
Star Force is that. We've been saying that Star Force is the Captain Marvel team.
Good to know.
Yeah. I looked it up because I'm like, enough of calling it the Kree super team. It's Star Force.
Okay, well, maybe he has something to do with Star Force in this. Maybe not. I don't know yet. Obviously, we don't know anything about that part yet. But if he does, maybe he's like sort of a member of it, or an Earthbound member, or whatever they want to put it as. Excuse me. What could tie in is maybe because we don't know who all is in Star Force yet either. But my thing is, obviously, this one's gonna at least start leading Ronin down the Kree fanatic route.
Because that's another interesting thing.
But I would, sorry to interrupt that.
Go ahead.
Last part is, I would put it as one of those two. I can't think of anyone else in this movie that would be that.
And like I'm reading the article again, and like the one that says that's like, oh, it's got to be him is Talos. Like he's the main like. But I wonder if that's a misdirection. Where like in Marvel movies we've had before, where it's like, oh, it's got to be this guy.
Yeah, true.
And then they throw you a curveball, and you're like, oh, well, I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that one.
Yeah.
And they even throw out what you just said. They said the Winter Soldier, or in Captain America, the Winter Soldier. He says, the last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye, which may define his mindset from here on out better than any other line.
I mean, what if it is Mar-Vell? Like
it could be like, and without getting into, that's what I'm thinking. So for me, my theory, part A, part B, this.
Yeah.
Part A is in here. Part B is going to be in our last topic. I am going to go with Mar-Vell because you think about it. If you look at who Mar-Vell is, he is on Earth a scientist. Like he is interacting with human beings. You're telling me one of the leading Kree scientists that is a Kree on Earth is having no interaction with S.H.I.E.L.D. at all?
Oh, no, for sure. He's got to be.
There's got to be, for the movie, Nick Fury is probably the agent that is, hey, you're keeping eyes on this guy. Like, that is your job, to keep tabs on him, check in every once in a while.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is, it just seems like when I read this article and they're like, oh, well, Talos is Ben Mendelsohn's character, and we already know Ben Mendelsohn is going to be a Skrull, so bada bing, bada boom, it's got an answer. I think of what I just told you. Marvel, they like to make you, misdirect, but they don't want to go with the obvious answer.
Yeah.
They have never gone with the obvious answer. Think about all of when we did that podcast, that like 45-minute segment, I think it was, almost an hour segment about, all right, Avengers Infinity War comes out this week. We're giving all our predictions right now. Our final hold us to them predictions. And there were some in there where we were like, yeah, this is going to happen just like this. Count it. And then we saw the movie and we're like, oh, didn't think of that. They kind of did it, but I didn't expect them to do it this way.
Exactly.
Kind of a thing. And
I'm wondering if, because Mar-Vell's not supposed to be a bad guy.
Yes.
So I wonder if it's along the lines of, I'm trying to think how to phrase this. He has to like slice Nick Fury's eye, because obviously if you look at it, it's got like the main one you sent me.
Yeah.
There's a nice long scar across it, but there's also like these little mini almost burn marks. So obviously I feel like that'd be alien tech.
Not just that. If you look at, and it's in that same article, I'm gonna put this down below.
Yeah.
For you guys to see it. If you look at page 1 of that article, when they talk about what we know about Nick Fury, the younger Nick Fury, we already see above the eye a slash with 3 bandages.
Yeah.
That could be anything, or it could just be foreshadowing that, hey, he's going to lose that eye as well.
I mean, I feel like it's an unnecessary foreshadowing.
Of like, hey,
unless it's the first unless for some reason this is the first Marvel movie you go to see.
Yeah, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't expect him to lose that eye.
What?
I thought it was going to be the other eye.
Oh, he lost this eye in this movie?
With me, I feel like Mar-Vell is the one I'm putting my money on. And the reason why is nobody expects it. Well, there's people that probably expect it, but the general population is probably thinking, oh, it's written in stone. Like, there might have been people that came in, might not have even gotten this far into this conversation because they might have jumped into this video, thought, well, that's a stupid topic. It's a foregone conclusion. And then, well, conclusion? That's not even a word, Ricky. It's a foregone conclusion. That's what I meant to say. And they clicked out of it. Yeah. Get that through your head that I just said conclosure. We have upcline, we have downcline, and now we have conclosure of words Ricky has created on podcasts. It just happened. So maybe eventually I'll come up with my own dictionary.
Maybe.
Do you think people would buy a Ricky Widmer dictionary?
I don't know.
Just words that I have created, like conclosure.
If you write
I don't
it,
even know what the actual definition of conclosure would be.
I guess you can throw it on the store.
Conclosure.
MVP store.
See conclusion. Basically, it's just, see this other word from this other dictionary. But that's besides the point. The thing that I wanted to say is that Mar-Vell's the guy. Nick Fury and Mar-Vell will have interactions with each other. I feel like Jude Law is going to be the character that bites Nick Fury in the butt because think of it this way. If Talos was the one that basically betrayed Nick Fury, why would that affect Nick Fury dealing with supers?
Yeah.
It would only, for me, yes, there'd be a little trust issue, but I feel like he would distrust SHIELD agents and not supers as much.
Well,
because you think of it this way, and I know you can say, well, Ricky's probably vetted this team. Maria Hill, Coulson, he's not distrusting of that. It's not like a thing where it's like, I distrust everybody and I have trust issues. It's basically, well, Maria Hill, Coulson, I trust. It's you guys I don't.
Well,
why?
actually,
because one of them bit me in the butt in the 90s.
To be fair, no, he doesn't trust anyone. Because he compartmentalizes everything.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not necessarily a trust in agents. It's a no trust in anyone. You know what I think you need to know.
But I'll throw this out. Do you think it's something to where maybe he distrusts everyone, but the superheroes there's just a little bit more distrust. Where it's like, yeah, I distrust both of you. But these superheroes, there's a little bit more.
Nick Fury, no, specifically. I think it's obviously a person-to-person basis. It's always to him you'll know what I think you need to know.
Yeah.
I want to say one of like Mar-Vell is a good one because it would be more of he did this for whatever reason. Nick thinks, oh, you stabbed me in the back, but he's actually. I don't think
it's going to be Captain Marvel.
I didn't say that. I said Mar-Vell.
No, I'm just saying like.
That would be an interesting one too, but then there's no reason he'd call her back.
Why would he call her if she was the one that bit him in the butt?
Exactly. But I thought more so would be it's Mar-Vell, and it's because like he slashed his eye for whatever reason he had to, and then went off to do whatever he had to do. Like, but it's not like he technically wasn't betraying him, but Nick thinks it is because he's gone. Last thing he did was slash him in the eye.
Yeah, and I mean. You brought up Ronan earlier. Ronan would be my outside one because if you connect some of the dots, Nick Fury might be dealing with Mar-Vell. Mar-Vell definitely is going to be in contact with Ronan in this movie. It's just a question of will Nick Fury then be in contact with Ronan because of him being in contact with Mar-Vell?
Yeah.
That's the huge question with all of this.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I threw that one out there, but I'm not banking on that one.
Yeah.
Like, it would be an interesting one. Like, he comes to start trusting that group, what did we say, Star Force,
right?
Yeah,
Star Force.
And like, okay, he trusts Carol Danvers, he trusts Mar-Vell, he trusts Ronan because that's the group like he's starting to trust. And all of a sudden, Ronan goes off starts to go down his deep end road, and because from what the fan one we saw, and this who knows how true that one is, he wants to destroy the world.
But I doubt that
What,
because
Nick Fury wants to destroy the world, or
Ronan.
okay. Well, I'm reading the article.
Yes, Nick Fury wants to destroy the world, Ricky.
And that's why
he has
I
the
gave
resources
you that
for that.
confused look.
He has the resources
but
for that.
The thing with Ronan, and we're going to see it in this movie, is we're going to see him go off the deep end.
Yeah, no, for sure,
Yeah.
because that's where he's going to start his Kree fanatic.
Exactly.
I almost called it a phase, but I mean, I guess it's his final phase. It's his final form.
Because he was, now, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Marvel Boy. In Guardians, he was blue.
Yes.
In this movie, is he going to be green and then turn into blue because he goes off the deep end?
I think it was just the tint of the picture.
You just think it's the tint of the lighting?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I'm trying to look at it right now. It's on the second page.
Because I saw it and I was like, oh, is he going to be green in this one? And then...
No, because if you look closer...
Because Kree are supposed to be blue. It's
They're
Skrull that
blue.
are green.
They're making them like a yellowish, but yeah. They're making
But,
like a tinted yellow
like in
color.
the comics, it was
Green.
the Kree are blue, the Skrull are green.
Green, like a yellow greenish color, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're making it a little bit more yellow than green on this one. But anyways, yeah, no, what it is it's if anything, it's how you're seeing it as the lighting, because if you look at it, it's just like the Ronan the Accuser costume, but it's like green and black, just like Captain Marvel's is in the movie.
Maybe he's a part of that team in some way.
I think he is in this.
Or it's just a generic military like color scheme for the Kree.
Because he doesn't he doesn't have the actual star on his chest. So it could be a Kree military, and like Star Force is a special Kree military one. Because what it looks, obviously Carol has Kree like powers from the Kree, but she doesn't actually have, like, she's not an actual Kree. Then again, it could be I wonder if they're gonna play anything into the Inhumans with this one, because that Kree's created Inhumans. So I'd be interested in see if they play any of that, or even just reference them into it.
Well, I thought you were going to finish that.
No,
I was going to say that an interesting line here, and this is from the article, they say in the same interview, they referenced an interview earlier with Entertainment Weekly, Jackson said he, being Nick Fury, he understands that they are not all enemies, and we do need to find allies who have specific kinds of skills that humans do not have. And then the article goes on to say, but that's easier said than done, which is why Fury places his entire career on the backs of the Avengers originally. He may be proven to be right in the long run, but since Captain Marvel isn't exactly Carl Danvers' original or origin story, fleshing out Fury's backstory couldn't hurt. And that's why, for me, kind of to close this up for me, I feel like it is not going to be Talos that betray. Like, he's going to betray Nick Fury, but he isn't going to be the reason Nick Fury loses an eye.
Yeah.
Mar-Vell is going to be the one that is the reason that Nick Fury loses an eye. But like I said, this is the only reason why I haven't gone. It's kind of like this segment for me. I've kind of felt like it's a tease on my side, because I didn't want to throw the bath out with the bath water with this one, because part B leads into what we're going to talk about next. But part A being Captain Mar-Vell or Mar-Vell is going to be the one to betray Nick Fury, and you will see why possibly with the next theory that we are going to talk about. Any final thoughts that you want to add before we move on?
No, I think we need to kind of finish this segment in a sense.
This is a tease. So if you're on YouTube, come back tomorrow for the next segment, or if you're watching this later in the future, it's already up. Go see the Captain Mar-Vell segment that we put out. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you think down below in that comment section. What is your theory for how Nick Fury loses his eye, and what do you think will happen in the Captain Marvel movie? But Johnny, let's jump into this final discussion, this final topic that we have. And I will jump right into what I had been teasing. If you did not hear part A, go see our Nick Fury video if you're on YouTube. It might be above Johnny, it may not. Depends on if I remember to put it there. If you're on Blog Talk Radio, if you're on podcast services around the world, you've already listened to it. You're listening all the way through. But the theory that we are talking about on the podcast, Johnny, is in Captain Mar-Vell, will Jude Law really be playing Mar-Vell? Like, we have mentioned Mar-Vell at nauseum in this podcast.
Yes, we have.
And now at the end, we're kind of doing, it's like, think about it back to, both you and I were music majors at one point. It was kind of like when you're in music theory and they're like, hey, you have all these rules, follow these rules, here's the rules. And then you get to theory 4 and they're like, hey, remember those rules? Forget about them. We ain't going to use them. Just throw them off the table. We're going to, you learned all these rules, now we're going to learn how to break them. And that's basically what we're doing. Hey, we have cemented Mar-Vell in your mind. He is going to be a character. And then at the end we go, or is he? Or is he? And the whole reason why this is even a question is because in all of the EW, the Entertainment Weekly first look things, as it says here in the Screen Rant article I'm looking at, EW's first look behind the scenes of Captain Mar-Vell carefully avoided naming the part Law's playing. All they did was confirm that when the film begins, Carl Danvers has already left Earth behind to join an elite Kree military team called Star Force, led by Jude Law's enigmatic commander. That's been followed by an interview with Law in which EW noted that the filmmakers declined to reveal his name. All we learned was that, like Ronan the Accuser, Law's character is a devout warrior with a deep-rooted belief in the divine leadership of the Kree people. And that is leading into, we can go into all the specifics, but I am just going to cut to the chase. Basically, what the theory is, that Jude Law is not playing Mar-Vell, but he is playing Mar-Vell's arch nemesis, Yon-Rogg. What do you think about that? What do you think about Jude Law not being Mar-Vell and being Yon-Rogg instead?
Interesting concept. It's just weird to not have a Yon-Rogg, but I guess if we're skipping to, she already has her powers, I guess it would make sense maybe, or have a Yon-Rogg playing the long game and calling himself Mar-Vell at first.
That's what I'm thinking.
And like, Mar-Vell, and that gets everyone's trust, and then final act, I want to say.
Yeah.
Oh, guess what, guys? I'm Yon-Rogg. Look what I did. Hey, Nick.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking. Basically, when I was saying that
Gotcha,
that
bitch.
Mar-Vell would be the one to betray Nick Fury, it's because he's not Mar-Vell. He is Yon-Rogg the whole time. And the thing that kind of made me think about this a little bit more is the fact that I have to look at the first look images one more time just to see the one with Ronan the Accuser. Yeah. So we've got Ronan the Accuser, and he is standing next to Jude Law.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things, and this is from the comics, it's very different, is Ronan and Yon-Rogg work together. There were many times that Yon-Rogg wanted Ronan the Accuser to put Mar-Vell on trial for basically going against the Kree, basically, is the stance that he took. Well, I look at that, maybe I'm looking too far into it, and I'm like, why would Mar-Vell was never buddy-buddy with Ronan.
No.
Yon-Rogg was. So for me, I wonder if the whole thing that even gave gave Danvers her powers, what if that's even a little bit, because we're skipping past that. And the thing I'm looking at, I just had it and I lost it. I'll find it. But, here it is. When they describe Yon-Rogg, I'll read the whole paragraph just to get everything out there. Yon-Rogg was a part of a sinister conspiracy to overthrow the Supreme Intelligence, the leader of the Kree race. He and his co-conspirator, Ronan the Accuser, hoped to take control of the Kree and lead them back to their warlike ways. Mar-Vell became an obstacle to those plans, and they worked hard to have him killed. The escalating feud between Yon-Rogg and Mar-Vell led to Una's death and ultimately to a final faith-filled confrontation in which Yon-Rogg was apparently killed by the explosion of a device known as the Psyche Megatron. This same explosion irradiated the nearby Carl Danvers with Kree energy, granting her
irradiated
human power. Thank you for correcting me, as I don't know how to read.
Eradicated.
The Eradicator.
By Carol.
Isn't that a super? That's where I'm thinking. That was one of the Supermen that came out during Death of the Superman.
Was it? I don't remember.
The Eradicator. He was the one that would like scan you and be like, if you are good, you are bad, and if you are bad, he would eradicate you.
Yeah.
All
I know is you said eradicated. It's like, no, I don't think Carol Danvers was eradicated.
The Eradicator.
Well, more so because if she was eradicated, we wouldn't have a Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah, she would be gone. So that makes perfect sense that she'd be eradicated.
So,
but after reading that, here's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing happens, but it happened in the past. We already know it happened. We all think Yon-Rogg is dead. He's not dead. He's not dead. He basically says, you know what? People think I died. I'm coming back. Like, Mar-Vell is nowhere to be seen. I'm coming back, and I'm going to say I'm Mar-Vell.
I just want to throw this out there.
Because then I can gain trust of Star Force and use them.
I almost want to say, I wonder if this is a Disney misdirect again. Because by them not saying who it is, we start speculating.
And they want us to speculate.
They do want us to speculate. I want to say, what if he is, and again, this is just like, but Johnny, you're just speculating now. It's like, yes,
that's all we're doing.
It is, but at the same time, it's like, well, I'm kind of going with what everyone first thought he was. What if he's Mar-Vell, and the little photo we have right here is Ronan did get him, and he is on sort of a trial, like sort of a private trial. Like we're not bringing him to actual trial. It's like, no, it's just me, Ronan, and one other guy in the room. We're going to decide what we want to do with him. This is our trial. Maybe
the only other reason I think about it is, and this is going to sound kind of stereotypical to villains, but you look at Jude Law's face in that image.
Yeah.
He's just making a very like super villainy face of like the super villain that you have just found out my secret identity and now I am going to kill you. Kind of a face.
Maybe.
I know that in that image they're talking to like one of the people on set that probably is like, oh, well, try it this way, try it that way, or like kind of just talking about the scene in general.
I mean, you never know what that face could be. It could just be like caught at the very like
I'm trying to understand you kind of a thing.
Trying to understand you, not agreeing with someone face. It could be just exhaustion sort of face, like. Also, like, that suit looks a little restrictive.
A little bit, yeah.
So it's like...
Doesn't look like the most freeing suit.
So it looks a little bit like they could play into this.
I feel like...
Into the face being made.
I'm going to be the one. I'm going to buy into it. That Jude Law... Because...
Yon-Rogg.
If he was playing Mar-Vell, like, because of everything that it is, like, it seems like something that... If he was playing Mar-Vell... They would just say Mar-Vell. Like, oh, you're just playing Mar-Vell.
Disney likes to misdirect, though.
Yeah, but think of Marvel. They only don't mention something if it's going to spoil something in the future.
Not true. Not 100% true.
Like, think about the whole Avengers title thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want to bring that up because it's going to spoil something in X, Y, and Z, and we still don't know what the title
they didn't
is.
tell us who Peter Dinklage was till the movie came out.
Exactly.
And it wasn't really that detrimental of a thing.
But if they would have told us who he was, people would have put X, Y, and Z together and could have figured out the whole storm. Like, I get the merchandise too. Hey, we're selling Stormbreaker. He's going to have Stormbreaker.
Exactly.
But it would have taken away that surprise.
Yeah, I guess, but at the same time, it's like if they were selling Stormbreaker, there was no reason to hide the fact that he's going to get Stormbreaker.
There are some of those things where it's like merchandising just screws them because it's either do we not make money or do we make money? It's always the latter of we make money.
Exactly.
Any way to make money, we make money. And I feel like Marvel, they only hold things back if they only hold things back if it's not what the general, like, not just because of this, but the things that they hold back, usually what most of the population is thinking is not where they're going. If most of the population thinks he's Mar-Vell, he's not Mar-Vell then. Because if he was Mar-Vell, and mostly everyone, 99.9% of people were like, oh, he's Mar-Vell, Disney would just go, screw it, he's Mar-Vell. It would only be if his character was so important to the story that, hey, it could even be something where if we mention who he is, it could spoil the story of Captain Marvel. I'm not even talking about Avengers, just Captain Marvel.
Could.
That's why I feel like he's not Mar-Vell, because just saying that, oh, he's Mar-Vell wouldn't spoil anything for Captain Marvel.
Yeah, but again, I'm just thinking of how Disney wants to... They might be changing up their game a little bit because of after... What, this is going to be their 20th movie?
I don't know.
Ish, just
Yeah.
ballparking.
That list that we got to go
Ballparking?
back to, because we got to re-rank them at some point.
Yeah, at some
we'll
point.
probably do that after Avengers 4.
You mean right now that Infinity Wars is at number 1?
Yeah, well, I thought Thor Ragnarok was at one for
I don't.
you.
Yeah, but well, I mean, we just had Infinity Wars come out, Ricky.
I know, but you love Thor Ragnarok.
I do, but I also don't own Infinity Wars at the moment.
Yeah, Spider-Man's got to be number 2 for me.
Infinity War number
Right
1.
behind Infinity. Like, Infinity War is just too perfect.
It is.
I think it, and this is a total different conversation that we'll have now just for a little bit, is it's building into something, though. There's an emotional attachment to Infinity War.
Oh, for sure.
And the gut punch of the snapshot, basically. Yeah, just everyone disappearing with that snapshot is why it's got to be number 1, and probably Avengers 4 it'll be Avengers 4 Infinity War, then the real ranking.
Avengers Infinity Wars, or to quote Honest Trailers, Game of Stones.
Yeah, Game of Stones, because everyone wants the stones. But back to Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe, like, I'm going to throw a third one out there. Could it be a third character we're not thinking?
Possibly, but I feel like it's hard to tell with
You're
Marvel.
Like,
I don't know any other characters because I'm not really right into Captain Marvel or any of that.
Like, you don't even have to give me a character, but is there, like, what percentage would you put on them throwing that curveball that everyone's like, oh, he's not Mar-Vell, he's Yon-Rogg, and they go, nope, you're both wrong. He's this character X that nobody was thinking of.
I wouldn't put it past Disney to do that.
Because, like, even look at Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
What was everyone talking about with Ghost? And Ghost didn't end up being exactly what we thought she would be. No one expected her to be the, like, my dad was working on this, and that's how I got my powers.
Oh, yeah,
thing.
but I feel like that's a little bit different type of misdirect. Disney's all about misdirecting, so they don't.
But I'm saying, like, that was a misdirect where they didn't give us too much about Ghost.
True.
They gave us this one thing, and in all the trailers, it was the same thing about Ghost.
Maybe they just, like I said, I don't know who to go with at this point because Disney, to be honest, is all about the misdirect lately. It's like, hey, okay, you guys think it's this? It's actually this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys don't think it's Mar-Vell? Well, guess what? He's Mar-Vell, or he's Yon-Rogg, or whoever the hell they're going to make him at this point. Because I'm not going to make a more solid prediction at this time until I get a first trailer. That's what I'm going to go off with. Once you and I finally get a first trailer, then I'll probably say, okay, I think it's going to be this guy.
We got to be getting it soon.
We should be. It's coming out April next year? No.
Like March.
March next year.
Yeah.
So we should get one soon. Mm-hmm. Because we don't have a lot of time in between then and now. So
because I'm looking right here. I see, like, from 2 days ago on, like, express.co.uk of, like, Captain Marvel trailer leaked. It's like, whatever. Basically, I thought I saw something where, and the reason why I'm looking for is I thought I saw something where they said, oh, this is where we're going to release it. Because the movie comes out in March of next year. And usually we've seen a trailer by now. Here's one thing I'm going to say and kind of throw out there. Are they doing a reverse Aquaman? Is that what I want to say? No. Basically, are they doing an Aquaman is what I want to say. Where, like, Aquaman did it the other way of like, hey, we're not putting it out right now because the special effects aren't done. And we flip shit. Basically, by me, I mean the general population. Well, what do you mean they're not done? Holy crap, what does this mean for the movie? Then they put out the trailer when they did during Comic-Con week, and all of us just went 2 thumbs up. Let's go. Let's see this because the effects were great. Do you think it could be just something as small as that? Like, they want to make sure that, because to be honest, this movie might need a little bit more effects than a Avengers Infinity War, maybe. I mean, I'm trying to think, because the thing you got to think about also, and maybe I could be wrong with this, most of the effects that they've done for like Iron Man and stuff, they probably have the same group of people working on that.
True.
That generally, the more you work on something,
the easier
you
it gets,
streamline that process. Whereas Captain Marvel, no one's done Captain Marvel before.
Closest one you probably get to that is Scarlet Witch, maybe.
Yeah. But
I would think.
Could it be something like that where we just want to make sure all the special effects are in order? Because maybe it's something with, because even in that image of the Skrull coming out of the water, everyone's like, oh, they look so dull and this and that. And people are like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not how they're actually going to look. They're going to pop more on the movie screen. Could it be just something like that? Hey, we're tweaking the visual effects and we want to make sure it's really good before we release it.
It could be, yeah. It could be as simple as that, just like Aquaman.
That was it. New York Comic Con, I think, is coming up later this year, and that they were maybe going to release it that week.
Maybe, or watch. They'll release it like next week because we doubt that, like, oh, we haven't seen it in a while. Oh.
They'll release, because the exact date is March 8th for the movie.
Not because we said it, but in like the universe kind of spiting the fact that we brought it up that they haven't put one out yet.
You know what? I'm actually going to look at this before I go ahead and open my mouth. What if they are waiting to release it with Venom? October 5th?
They could be waiting for that.
Like, that's not even that is
less than a month
from this
away.
Friday coming up. It's 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
What if Sony has an agreement with Marvel, like within that agreement, or something just like, hey, you help me, help you kind of a thing?
Don't even have to have an agreement. It's just like
a little bit of like, hey, come scratch our back so that we can scratch yours kind of a thing.
I mean, it's not. They don't have to make, like, I'm just saying, when they put out previews, they don't have to make a deal with the company that's putting the movie out.
I'm not saying a deal. I'm just saying, like, hey, in good faith, help us bring, like, here's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Have like the Marvel, like, in 2 days, and they did that Avengers, like, short trailer.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, a trailer to the trailer, that's what we could get. Like, that Wednesday or that Tuesday, a trailer to the trailer, because on Friday at Venom, that's when it's like, then they only show it at Venom, and then Saturday it gets dropped online.
It could be that then,
because the whole thing that I'm thinking with that, and this is me really playing into like the trying to get into stuff, that reading into things that might not happen. We don't, like, Far From Home could be technically Spider-Man's last MCU movie if Sony wanted to pull him back. What if Sony was like...
No, they can't. Well, with the contract.
No, the contract ends after Far From Home.
No, it ends after the third Spider-Man movie.
No, he was...
I thought he was contracted for up to a third Spider-Man movie.
No, it was just 4 movies.
Oh, okay.
So you had Homecoming, Avengers, Far From Home, Avengers. So that's the 4 movies. It was just 4. It wasn't just Spider-Man movies. It was movies.
No, I thought it was 5 movies total.
No, it was... Because that's the big thing of like, oh, after Far From Home, he's up, kind of a thing.
Okay, I thought they had another movie after that they still had contracted.
The point is, they could pull him after that contract ends. What if this is something, it's not like written in paper contract, but it's just like a goodwill thing of like, hey, there's a lot of buzz around Captain Marvel, and people may be on the fence about Venom, more nervousness of anything. In order to make sure butts are in seats, why don't we drop a trailer earlier that week that we are going to premiere the Captain Marvel trailer with Venom?
I mean, it's possible.
To bring people to that movie Mar-Vell does goodwill to help Sony. Basically, by doing that, hey, we might scratch your back and let you keep Spidey.
Maybe it could be something to do with that, or like I said, they
just drop it tomorrow.
Yeah, they drop it.
We record this on Sunday, Monday, boom, here's Captain Marvel.
You guys look stupid now.
Ricky, shove it, basically. They just do, hey, Ricky, how about you shove this one? Because we can do whatever we want. We're Marvel. I'm Kevin Feige. I am Kevin Feige.
I just feel
Marvel.
like October's kind of late, but no, that could be something they're doing. Like they're waiting for like the next Marvel movie to drop.
Let's be completely honest, though. It's Marvel.
Exactly.
They can just be like, screw it. We're doing whatever we want. We know you're going to come.
Hey, guess what? We're not even putting a trailer out.
Hype. We don't have to build up hype.
You guys did that for us.
Yeah, what is hype?
Look at all these fan trailers made.
Basically, here's the last thing I'm going to ask you. In the end, if you had to put your money on it, who is Jude Law playing in Captain Marvel?
As of now, I'm going to just stick with Captain Mar-Vell. Captain Mar-Vell.
Yeah, he's going to be Carol Danvers.
Gotcha.
You thought it was Brie Larson all along? Gotcha. It's Jude Law. And we're going to bring in Iron Man to be Sherlock. It's going to be Sherlock Holmes all over again.
No.
I can't wait for those. If those two characters meet on screen in the MCU.
That'd be hilarious. Just
it's basically Sherlock and Watson.
Excuse me.
What's your name? Is it Watson? Watson, is that your name? Like just something like that would be funny.
My money would be on. As of now, I'm just gonna stick with the safe bet and go with Mar-Vell.
I'm gonna go bold. I'm gonna say that he's gonna be like it's gonna be a Yon-Rogg who.
You're a Yon-Rogg.
Is basically saying
posing
he's
as Mar-Vell.
Yeah, posing as Mar-Vell. That is what I'm gonna go in. He is then going to betray Fury, and that's how Nick Fury gets his whole distrust issues and his abandonment issues. Because Mar-Vell
abandonment,
just throwing it right on the top.
Was
there.
he a 5-year-old?
Yeah, Mar-Vell abandoned him. He was a friend. They were best friend. They went out and got ice cream on the weekends, and then he burnt his eye off. Well, he cut his eye and then burnt the
laser cut.
Yeah, like you said, there was a little scarring here.
Yeah,
from the burn.
I feel like it's a laser cut.
Yeah, he freaking burned him and cut his eye open. Like, come on, man, that's not cool. I thought we were friends. I thought you got the Rocky Road ice cream.
I feel like you can't leave that in there medically. I feel like you can't leave the eye in there.
Yeah, because it would probably get scarred up and infected. Yeah, that would be a bad thing. That's why they just put an eye patch over it.
Yeah, that helps with that.
They just put an eye patch over it and said, "You'll be okay, champ."
You're good, Fury.
Yeah, man up, Nick. I've seen people get twice worse than that.
What do you mean you want to remove the eye? What, you're worried about infection?
But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you think down below in that comment section. Who is Jude Law going to play? Will it be Mar-Vell? Will it be Yon-Rogg? Will it be nobody? And you don't know who he's going to play, but
he's got Jude Law.
Play anyone.
He's not even in the movie.
He just walks around in the background. Like, who's Jude Law in this?
What do you mean you hired Jude Law as an extra?
It's like, did we hire him? No, he just came on set and started walking around.
He grabbed a costume.
Yeah, he grabbed a Kree uniform and just started walking around. He's Jude Law. Who do you want me to tell him no? You want me to tell Jude Law no? You could go tell Jude Law no.
I'm just an intern. What do you mean you want me to tell him no?
He said that I almost said Howard. That's not right. That Robert said it was okay. I like how I said Tony. Then I thought Howard. I'm like, nope, that's not right. That's still a character. And then Robert.
Wait, Robert's
been a long podcast.
Like, Robert's not even in this movie.
Yeah, no, but he said it was okay, man.
But
just like how Robert Downey Jr. Hey, you mind moving up the movie date for my friends? You mind doing that for me? Like, he's got a lot.
Thanks, Marvel.
He's got a lot of pulp. This is where you guys come in. Let us know what you think down below in the comment section about this. Anything we talked about on today's show. Housekeeping here at the end. Make sure to, number one, hit up patreon.com/mostvaluable-podcast to help support the channel. You can be on a podcast if you join us at the $10 tier. You can also get yourself an MVP t-shirt. That store link down below in the description as well. And then the two last but not least, you can also get it at mostvaluablepodcast.com. You can catch MVP each and every day. And then the last but not least, make sure to go on to iTunes, Apple Podcasts. If you're on YouTube, please still go over there. And if you would, please give us a 5-star rating. It would really mean the world to us. And then write a little something about why you like listening to the podcast each and every week. I want to thank you guys for watching on YouTube. I want to thank you guys for listening on podcast services around the world. And as always, have a good day, everybody.